In this lesson, we'll finish out the grill area. So we've got a space up here for the grill. Let's go ahead and finish this area out. I'm going to go ahead and turn on wireframe so we can see everything a little bit better. The first thing that I'm going to do is take this piece right in here, and I want to create an inset for this as well. Okay. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pull this point down a little bit so it gives it a little bit more shape. Okay, I'll do a little bit of shaping there, and then I'll take these, basically these faces right in here. Okay, let's go ahead and extrude those in, and we can move these points down a bit if we want to. Give us a little bit more space there. And I'll take these points, these faces rather, and push those in, and push them in just a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and extract that piece so that we can treat that separately. Okay, go ahead and center that pivot, and let's scale it up a bit so it kind of intersects. Now let's take this row right here of faces that we just created and create a little rim inside here. And that's just going to add a little bit. When you look and see in here, and you'll see a little bit of detail. Okay, just a little bit like that. So that when we then come in and smooth this, you can see that. Kind of like so. Alright. Now in here, do kind of a similar thing. Let's go ahead and select the back of this guy. Alright, and let's go ahead and extract this. So we'll extract that piece. Let's go ahead and center the pivot and move it out. And we're going to use this to create a couple of pieces. But the first thing I want to do is kind of straighten out this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw this in kind of more like that. Delete that. And now I want to insert some edge loops in here. Okay, so I can either come in and do this manually, or I can go into my Insert Edge Loop tool and do multiple edge loops. And let's say I want to do maybe 10. And let's do 12. I want a bunch of edge loops in there. Okay. Before I do that, let's actually duplicate this. Okay. And we'll do our workup on this one, just so we have a clean copy of this. So again, we go to our Insert Edge Loop tool. Maybe 20. Just so they're evenly spaced here. And then maybe 10. Do 20 here. Oh, looks like we can only do 10. So we'll do maybe 5 here. Okay, now what I want to do is just kind of pick some of these. So let's go ahead and select Edge Loop tool. I'm going to use this one. So let's go ahead and just kind of delete every other one. So click off of here. Let's keep that one. Let's delete every other edge here. Okay. Now let's use our Offset Edge Loop tool. And we'll create just a couple strips around the lines that we have left. Okay, pull that across, and you try to want to make them, try to make them the same, basically the same size there. Okay, and then we can delete anything that's not in one of those strips. Okay, go ahead and just delete those. And all of this material in between we can get rid of. Just delete all of that. And now these guys we can extrude. And extrude again. Pull that all the way back. Delete those faces in the back. We can delete the faces on top. Okay, get rid of those faces on the bottom. And then we can reverse our normals. You can see it's black so that it's showing us that those normals are reversed. Go ahead and reverse those. Okay, and now we can smooth them out. You can see that that's sort of what we get. Okay, if we take this now and we want to go ahead and smooth it, we can insert some edge loops around the edges. Okay, let's go ahead and move that back there. Okay, and we'll move this back as well. Let's bring it forward. And bring this forward as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and smooth that and smooth that. And if we want to kind of shape this a little bit more, we can take these and go to our animation, create deformers, and let's create a lattice. Okay, we need a couple more divisions there. So we'll create a lattice 4x4x4. Take our lattice points and kind of move these over so that's a little straighter. Not quite as curved. Okay, although it might be nice for it to follow this curve over on this side. So we can just shape this a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this down, this part of the grill. Grab those points in there. Pull this down a bit. Then we can take both of these and create our lattice. Pull that down. Okay. Go ahead and delete that history. Let's go ahead and create a rim inside here as well. So we can go ahead and go create a rim right there. Right there, and go ahead and select those faces. And this is going to be the same thing that we just did with that other little inset over there. Go ahead and just select all of those faces all the way around. Go ahead and extrude those in, and then in again. You can get it. Nice little rim inside there. Okay, and you might want to come in and shape this a little bit more. So I'm just going to put a line in there, and then I could insert an edge loop right in here, and just pull this down and in, and create a little bit more of a sharpness here. We go to smooth this. And we can connect that up. and continue that on when we go to clean everything up. Alright. So just play around with your the front end and your grill, but we were able to use the geometry that we already had to build these little pieces in here, as well as these sort of pieces. And what you could also do is kind of match that up and pull some geometry out from between here. So if you had inserted edge loops, for instance, right in here, if you had those straight on, so you take your points and move them over, you could take those points so that it kind of comes out from behind there, right? So you can do that as well. Have a line in the center of all of these. So once you get your grill sort of detailed the way that you want it, let's go ahead and move up and start to build a little bit of interior. Now we don't want to go too crazy on the interior, but we just want to be able to see something because we have such a large area of open glass there on the canopy. We want to have some sort of detail inside there that makes it look like there's something in there. So we'll go ahead and start to work on that in the next lesson.